Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today. I hope that you are too. As we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. My awakening joy masters remind me that all negative thinking comes from ignorance and not understanding how life really works. The precepts, the ethics are recommended as healthy and skillful choices, especially in areas where we can easily go astray. The principle underlying all of them, if you want to be happy, don't intentionally cause suffering to others or to yourself. If you're going to try to break a habit that doesn't serve you, instead of thinking how poorly you've behaved in the past, focus your attention on what you want to do and how you want to feel. Focus on the rewards of success, not the penalties of failure. So rather than getting caught up in self-judgment, recall the light and joyful way you feel when you choose wisely, the bliss of blamelessness, and let that feeling motivate you to continue. Neuroscience tells us it takes a couple of months for the neural circuits to rewire and carry the new habit consolidated fully. That's why maybe in the Bible it says 40 days for different periods of depth reflection before the change happens. They say live to the change before the change happens. And so sustaining that way over a period of time will ensure that you've really rewired it, soldered it into your brain. All right, so with that as a reminder, in a different way, the Buddha certainly tried to teach his version of joy by first reminding you how to get out of suffering with the story of the poisoned arrow. A man was shot by a poisoned arrow, but before he would let his family and doctors minister to him, he wanted to know all these questions about who shot me, what was the arrow made of, what kind of poison did they use, what was kind of the shaft in the bow, and so forth. And this person would die before he got the answers to those questions. So rather than the constant intellectual conundrum that your left brain can continually find you in, put you in, just deal with what causes suffering. He didn't want to speculate about metaphysical questions, but look at the states of consciousness that are filled with greed, hatred, and delusion, or self-deception, and work on that. Obviously, create non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion, or love, serve, and remember. So that has really been influential for me in looking at my own suffering, but I also remind myself I was fortunate enough to be exposed to the Sufi teachings in 1970. And a Sufi teacher said to me that blew my mind is, I can't believe what kind of detachment you have. I said, I'm not detached, I'm totally involved in everything. He says, oh no, you've detached yourself from that which is everlasting. What? They say when you hear about this, you run about excitedly realizing there's something everlasting. I'm seized with longing to find this. But he said, well, but the realization is it might be a long and painful journey. So you're going to hesitate in spite of your supposed goodwill to want to find this out. And everybody excuses themselves according to their own type, the reasons why they can't do it. But nobody comes back to this world psychologically once you've made this journey. And many difficulties may assail you, the obstacles, the challenges, the tests and trials in the hero journey, as they say. And it seems at one point you may have to give up all that's precious, regard it as nothing, everything you possess. And then they say that's not even enough. Once you've assured yourself that I don't possess anything, I'm not holding on to anything, you still have to detach yourself from all that exists. What? But they say that's when you see the light, and then your wishes are really multiplied to infinity. So a person who enters here will have such longing, they'll give themselves completely to this quest because nothing else matters except the pursuit of this aim. And then you will go beyond the fears of the dragons, the dragons, the dogma, the beliefs, the prejudices, and of course one's unbelief that this really exists. So they say to enter this valley of love, one must have 1,000 hearts ready to sacrifice one at every moment. And the thing to take with you for today is if you don't set out on this journey and engage yourself completely, you'll never be free from the sadness and melancholy that weighs you down.